What up, channel? It's Foreplayy, and this is questions from you number 11. However, I'm going to do something a little bit different and go through my inbox live, and I'm going to answer as many questions as I can because I was 200 behind, and I'm damn guaranteed to try to help you guys answer these questions. So that's my goal for this. However, first and foremost, it's Standoff CTF from League Play, and this is a 3v4. I went into League Play by myself. I'm teamed up with Supervillain and Visions Pro. I don't know these people, and I'm going never say never on them, and we're going to win this game. You're going to see me start out struggling, and I just couldn't get anything together. It might have been because it was 3v4, and it was my first game of the day. No excuses, though. We end up bringing it back, and I pick up my gameplay on the second side of this. So stay with me, bear with me, I should say, with the horrible gameplay on the first side. Not horrible, but low to my standards, and then you'll see me pick it up in the end. So let's go. The first question is going to come from Mr. Rush OBJ. What advice do you have for my competitive gaming career? I want to be a pro gamer, and I know there's so many other hopefuls out there. Myself, for example, I'm 18, soon to be uploading COD gameplays. I've been into competitive gaming my whole life. I've only recently, over the past year and a half, taken to competitive and still feel like a bit of a noob. First and foremost, get familiar with the scene. You want to get familiar with what exactly competitive gaming is about. Obviously, you know the rules, you know the teams, you know how to play. Now you need to start playing like it so you can get yourself on a set team. You should be living and breathing League Play and other competitive games. Obviously, I'm not saying don't go into public games, like don't have fun and stuff, but you need to make sure you're really familiar because you're just starting out in the competitive scene and you don't want to struggle, you don't want to get too far behind. So make sure you're always looking up on it. Remember, everyone wants to be a competitive gamer. I stress this on my channel. Everyone wants to be a pro. Not everyone. Obviously, I know some of you guys don't, and you guys love just doing what you're doing, pub stomping, just having a good time playing with friends, family, etc. But there's a lot of people out there that want to be pro gamers, and not everyone can do it. Make sure you also go to any local LAN events that you can. Make sure you Google it. Make sure you go to an MLG event to find out what competitive is. Get familiar in the scene. Follow some of your favorite pros on Twitter, and follow, not even pros, just follow anyone that you like that plays competitive gaming on Twitter. Twitter's an awesome social tool to use because you can kind of like talk to the people that you normally wouldn't have a chance to talk to. I know for myself, I try to reply to any questions I can as much as possible. Like whenever I'm traveling or at the airport, perfect time you'll catch me doing a question and answer, and I'll try to answer as many questions as possible. So I wanted to kind of do this speed round because I hope I can address as many questions as possible, and I hope that first one was answered good, Mr. Rush OBJ. Going into number 2 is from Fungus Teddy, sweet YouTube name. Hey Foreplayy, my question is, how many pro teams are there in Black Ops 2? Also, is there a distinction between semi-pro and pro teams, as I have heard the term pro team so many times? I don't know what one is anymore. Anyway, I love your vids. Thank you, Fungus. Basically, the term pro is thrown around there a lot. In fact, in Call of Duty, no one will really take it serious unless you guys know like the person or a player such as myself that's proven themselves in tournaments and whatnot. A pro team has to be a team in a sanctioned event. You know what I mean? So let's take MLG for example, because that seems to be the mecca or the heaven of like Call of Duty and Halo and all this stuff. Even though there are other tournament leagues out there like UMG, you don't really brand yourself as being a UMG pro because it's kind of like a tournament that's hosted not so frequent as MLG, except for this year it could be different, so there might be UMG pros. But this year, yes, there will be semi-pros and pros. You need to place consistently in the top 16 to be a pro team. And if you're one of the 16 players, or one of the 16, what would that be? Anyway, one of the 16 teams and you're on that team and you're a player, then yes, you are considered a pro player. Semi-pro should be considered anywhere between 16 and 32, and below 32 would be an amateur. Yet again, you can throw the term top amateur player out there if you say you're 32 through what, like 40? I'd say you're a top amateur team, and then below 40, you just got work to do. And that doesn't count for one event. I think it's after the first event or even after the second event. Then you can consider yourself pro because it's based off pro points. If you're still unfamiliar with what a pro team and stuff is, try to go to MLG's website after Dallas or after the second event, which is in Anaheim, June 28th. That's the second MLG event, so all you Cali heads better be there. But anyway, definitely go on their website. You'll be able to see who the pro teams are, who the pro players are. Hopefully we're up there anywhere between 1 through 3. I can only hope, right? But anyway, hope that answered your question. The next question is, just a quick question, what song do you use for your outro? The outro song that I use is, I got rights to use this. It's by XV, I think. XV, yeah, XV, and it's called Her Favorite Song. So that is the outro song. A lot of people like that. I just like it because it's mellow, calm, and chill. Second side is happening right now. I'm currently sitting at 14 and 11, I believe. So watch me do work. Not off the original. I can see some red on my timeline, but you'll see me pick it up, and we end up coming back to win the game after we get down 3v4. If you're on the other team, that's embarrassing, bro. But no, it's cool. This question, my main question. So I'm 15 years old. I live in the United Kingdom. I'm a pub stomper, and I want to be a pro player. But first, I know I have to get into GB. I can never find any teammates. I want to keep my real life apart from my gaming life. Plus, none of my teammates want to be pro players. Any advice on finding a team? This question is asked 50 million times. The advice to find a team. I've answered it so much recently that it's kind of becoming so repetitive. You got to just grind, play league play. Don't be scared to ask. In fact, one of the past questions from you, how can you find a team? I think it was number 9 or 8. Go check that out. That should answer your question. Sorry, I couldn't help you more. The King Max. This question is from a cold killer. First, I want to say you're a legend. I watched you for a while, and I have no doubt you will be great. You will have a great Black Ops 2 career as rest as everything else. Second, I know you've been around the COD community for a long time. You've made yourself very well known. God, you were just boosting my ego, bro. But all right, as we all know, tournaments are for Xbox, and the COD community is growing. I want it to grow. Everybody wants it to grow. My problem is that we are leaving out half of the community when they try to support. PS3 has a huge base of COD players, teams that are really underrated. I want to grab a lot of the PS3 viewers to help this community grow. That's your issue right there. You can only grow as much as the game's going to let you, because I agree, PS3 has good players. I'm not taking anything away from there. In fact, all the pro players went out and bought PS3s for Black Ops just to compete in it, just because we couldn't compete on the Xbox. But you have to go with the flow. You can't say you can't say they're leaving out the PS3 community because they need to buy an Xbox and Switch, and they need to trade and make that switch and that sacrifice, or buy one so they have 2 consoles, because you have to go with the flow. You can't say anyone's leaving anyone out, because that's not where the game is hosted. If the game is hosted on Xbox and everyone plays Xbox, then you just got to get used to it just like everyone else. There's a bunch of players right now that are top AMs and other pros that only played PS3 competitive for MW2 when they first did the whole PS3 and Xbox thing, and now they made the switch already. They're fully dedicated to Xbox gamers, and if they can do it, you guys can do it. Granted, I will say one thing, they are pros, but they had to get to be a pro from that, you know. So either way, I hope that answers your question. A cold killer, thank you for the compliments, but go with the flow and make sure everyone else does as well. With there only being 3 minutes left, we could definitely get some more questions in. Alright, so sorry about this. This is from Shim. I think his name is Shim12. Hey, Foreplayy, you don't have to make a video about this or anything. I'm just hoping for a response. Well, guess what? You're in the video. The only competitive COD I play right now is game battles, but I want to one day go pro. In your last video, you were talking about strict parents and not letting them play, or seeing your compassion in gaming. My parents are pretty close to that. The only way I see myself to go to a LAN or even get noticed is to wait until I go to college. I'm currently a sophomore. Of course, I will still do game battles till then. What do you think of this a good idea? To be honest, if you can't attend a gaming event or a LAN event because your parents are strict, then you can't blame them. They are your parents, and you pretty much have to do what they say till you're 18, or at least try to talk to them. But what I want to ask you is, have you tried to sit them down and talk to them and maybe come up with a happy medium, like an understanding of, hey, if I get these grades, like let's say for 2 months you get perfect grades, and then the summer comes, which the next MLG event is after Dallas, which is March, is June 28th in Anaheim, like I talked to you about. What if you tell them, hey, I want to go to that event, and it'll be summertime, and my grades are good, do you guys mind if I go? I'm 15 or 16, I'm not sure how old you are, you're a sophomore. So maybe you can have a happy medium with them and try to come up with some type of understanding, because that's the biggest thing, is parents don't really understand what gaming is, and you know what I mean? They're also looking out for your safety, and finances. That's a lot of money you got to pay to travel to an event, pay for a hotel, your food, all that stuff. Then you got to make sure your team is going as well. They got to make sure the environment's cool. But you can YouTube search a video called the Eon Experience, and I think it was from MLG Raleigh, and that was Eon, my former organization that I was with Team Envious, and they made a video that was kind of just recapping the event and stuff, and you can use that video to show them what the MLG events are like. And as you notice, we just went hella clutch in that game. We are up 4-3 now with 30 seconds left. Coming back, and I don't think I'm doing that well still. Well, I'm doing all right. I'm 28 and 19. So I'm doing all right. But anyway, I'm not going to have time to answer any more questions. I hope that you guys like the speed round of questions from you. I really just wanted to do this every once in a while. I promise I'm not going to do this a lot, but I'm going to try to do it as much as I can to get these questions answered, just because I feel that you guys have questions and I got the answers, or at least I think I do. But as always, keep a lookout for another montage I'm coming out with. Candles kind of was a success. Wasn't as good as I wanted it to be just because it was a rush project. But I got something big coming out. It's a dual taj as well as another solo taj. So much stuff coming out that I can't wait to just get back on my YouTube grind. As always, thank you so much for the support. You guys are seriously the best. If you guys are interested in that giveaway thing, I'm going to be doing a video about that in the upcoming week, as well as some iGames, and try to get a hold of Sharp for the pro scene. Keep dominating your game. This is Foreplayy from the Foreplayy gang, Caliber Gaming, and Team Envious. Peace. What's up, Foreplayy gang? I hope that you guys liked that video. I felt like I was talking so fast. I need to slow it down a little bit. That was ridiculous. So many questions at once. As always, comment, favorite, like, subscribe if you would, please. And get at me on Twitter. Keep submitting your questions if you want. You got any questions? I got 23,000 subscribers, so bear with me. But I promise I'll message you if I do answer your question. As always.